What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. I'm super happy to be here today, and I'm super happy to be next to my man Andy Clark, the myth, the legend, Andy Clark. Come on, Andy. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
I'm
Thank
excited to be here in Wilson.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for inviting us in your beautiful home. Obviously,
Thank you.
moving in, which is great, looks great. So thank you again for that. Andy, so I guess if there's new listeners, 'cause I'm sure people are going to be listening, especially because you're on, they're going to be like, I know Andy, I want to listen. Just for the listeners, a quick thought about nothing changes until you do. It's really just a thought or methodology of like understanding certain situations in life that we're not happy with, and then figuring out, okay, how do we go back to then if this comes up again, or if it's a cyclical thing, how do we change those decisions in that moment to then get a different outcome? So the thought is influence creates thoughts, or pushes thoughts. Thoughts then create the emotion, and then the emotion then drives the action or the inaction,
Right.
and then that from that action, then you get an outcome, and then
Right.
just go throughout life doing all. It's similar. It's the same thing. It's situation, a situation, a situation, and then you get outcomes from all this.
Well, I think the theme that I'm thinking about today is transitions. That's kind of why we're here in my new house is moving
Yeah.
is a big, could be a stressor in your life. So I'm trying to take this slow of moving my house that I've been in for 32 years and moving to this new house. And it's just kind of a microcosm of life, dealing with transitions and change, how, life's always changing. So anyway,
Yeah, so take us in.
take me back.
Yeah, well, so let's talk real quick as far as business, because like for people that don't know who you do or what you do.
Yeah,
w-
right.
yeah,
I'm Andy Clark. I'm the president and CEO of All Aboard Storage, which is a family-owned self-storage company here in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we have 31 self-storage locations in East Central Florida. We're the 60th largest self-storage owner-operator in the world, probably with the top 10 in Florida.
Real quick shout out to our sponsors, Waymat.com. If you don't know what a Waymat is, definitely check them out. It is like the universal Swiss Army knives of mats. It's a towel, it's a mat, it can be used for yoga, it can be used for picnics. We have about 3 in the car. You never know when you're going to use them. Used to use them for our Ginger, rest in peace Ginger. She was a Boxer Lab mix. Really awesome mat. Go to www.waymat.com, use code NCUYD for 40% off your next purchase.
And we've been around since the late 1970s, basically. We opened up our first self-storage facility in 1983. It started with my father, Douglas Clark, and his partner, Bob Powell, who came up with the idea or saw the opportunity for self-storage here in Daytona. There's like 2 other self-storage facilities at the time. And so we built one in Port Orange on Nova Road near Spruce Creek Road. My brothers, Chuck and Craig Gittner, and myself and 2 other guys. And we basically built the whole place. It took us a few years to get it built. But anyway, we still own and operate that particular location today. And so I was born and raised here in Daytona Beach, and grew up in Port Orange, went to Spruce Creek High School, and then went on to University of Florida, and worked with my father, and it was basically a small construction company. But yeah, so my father was a home builder, and then got into mobile home parks in the 1960s, and then into the self-storage arena. And so we were kind of the pioneers of self-storage, and especially in Port Orange, we got into that. So
How old are you when that?
okay, yeah, so I'm 61 years old now.
Let's go.
So
You look great.
yeah, thank you.
Oh, you look
Yeah.
great.
So I love Wilson's.
You got all
Yeah.
the muscles are here.
Yeah, I'm getting pumped. So work-life balance is really important.
Yeah.
And I love that Wilson's got, the cold plunge stuff going on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I'm into that as well.
Cool.
And it's so important to, enjoy your work. And couple, my dad didn't, talk a whole lot, but he would come out with these pithy sayings like, his the best plan for retirement is to plan never to retire,
I
and
like that.
make your work your play, and make your play your work. You never have to work another day in your life, that type of thing.
So I would say that was a lot of influence, right? Like as far as growing up, seeing what
Yeah.
you guys did for work and stuff like that. So from Florida, right? Originally,
I was born and raised here.
born and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you don't see that a lot either. So you're real.
Right. It's yeah, like I'll run into other people I went to high school with
Yeah.
and stuff, and we still actually get together, and still surfing and seeing the guys,
Yeah.
and stuff. So it was a really small town,
Yeah, for sure.
obviously.
So let me ask, as far as business, right? Because like a lot of people, they want to be successful in business, right? And so I would say, like on the business section, because like we talk about a bunch of different things. What's one of the biggest things that I think that growing the business and seeing where the business is now, that people need to like understand or focus within their business. Obviously, there's a ton more entrepreneurs out there, like the whole movement to being your own boss. But what's something that you think, people have yet to understand or have yet to see that you've seen or that you think,
Yeah.
would
Well,
help?
I think it's important to have passion in whatever you're doing. Find that thing that you love to do in life, and what is it that I always think about? What do you get lost in time doing? Like I
Mm.
enjoy kind of like planning site plans or civil engineering of our properties, and when I'm doing that, all of a sudden, oh geez, half hour's gone by or an hour has gone by. So that's a clue as to what your passion might be. And I love real estate. I love seeing beauty in real estate, and seeing, trying to take a property and bring it to its highest and best use, its highest potential. That's what All Aboard has been doing recently, is building out our properties to their fullest, to serve the customer, to figure out what the customers want, and then give them that. Um, in addition to creating beauty for All Aboard, it's also important, obviously, to keep your eye on cash flow. I mean, that it just because you're passionate about it, you have to also figure out a way to keep the cash flow going up and to watch your cash flow.
Yeah.
And so I'm really big into the P&Ls, and just tracking how much money you have in the bank and stuff like that. So those are the two things that motivate
Yeah.
me and motivate
Passionate
all of you.
bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds simple, but
Yeah.
there's a lot to that, and um, I tell my daughter Emma Clark is our COO at All Aboard Storage.
Shout out to Emma.
Say,
Shout out Emma. She's probably gonna watch.
right, but I always tell her that the work has to be you have to make it fun,
Mm.
because if it's not fun, then life is so short that we have to do something that you enjoy doing
Yeah.
too. So
So
know,
passion, cash flow, and then make it fun.
yeah, yeah, don't feel trapped in
Yeah.
a job. Make a change. Like your motto
Yeah.
is so apropos about nothing happens until you
Yeah.
make
Nothing
a
change
change.
until you do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So let me ask. So even for because I feel like sometimes people can look at right. They can look at you or anybody in your position and be like, man, I wish, or yeah, he's got it so easy, or it's so right. So I just want to be able to relate that even though whatever situation or like whatever level you're at, there's always these ups and downs, right? Whether it's business and or life. And so for business, it's the same thing, right? Like I'm sure there's times where it's like, okay, man, cash flow is dipping down. We need to, you know,
yeah,
shift this cash flow issue and figure out what we need to do in order to like keep increasing the cash flow.
take
But
action.
yeah,
Yeah.
take action, right? So, it's great to hear it from obviously you in terms of what you've done, and if anybody, obviously people locally know who you are because they know the business, and for people that don't, like being top 100 business owners in your field, it's got to say something about who you are, your family, and then what you've done. So I think it's important for people to just understand that like wherever you are, there's certain nuances that are the same
Yeah.
depending, like it doesn't matter what level you're at.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's important to be persistent. Like another business tip is longevity. You know, if you keep at it long enough, and just look for creative ways to navigate the ups and downs of the economy and
Right.
stuff. Just don't give up. You know.
It's
So
tough, right? Sometimes
yeah.
it's tough. What's been a tough year for you or a tough situation?
Yeah. Well, 2009 was a transitional year for me and for all aboard
Mm,
storage, because that was the kind of the height of the Great Recession that we had.
yep.
And we saw our self-storage occupancies dip down from, say, 90% occupancy down to about 60% occupancy,
Whoa.
which led we had a lot of bank debt at the time on not just our income producing properties, but our raw land and
Right.
developmental properties. So that led to us being able to we could pay our interest payments, but we didn't have enough money to pay the principal
Right.
portion of the loans. And so we first tried to cut all expenses that we could, operational expenses at our business. All the employees kind of teamed together and they agreed to take a 10% wage cut, because it was a tough time back then. It was economic recession was happening, hitting everybody.
Everybody, right, exactly.
So we did that, and
How was that like, that meeting? Like, was that something that everyone just came together and was there an ask for that, or was the team just more of like, "Hey, we're willing to do whatever we can to."
yeah, we just or my father and I decided that, and everybody agreed we needed to do what we needed to do. And so then we talked to the banks, and unfortunately, some of the larger banks, we had securitized loans, that means a loan that is owned by basically shareholders, like on a stock exchange.
Yeah.
So in order to modify the mortgages, we needed to go in default before the mortgage could be modified
You modify it, right?
with the big banks. So that was a really hard thing, because when you have longevity, and our reputation is so important, and we've never defaulted on any
Right.
loans. So it's really weird to first we stopped paying some of the loans,
Yeah.
and then the banks said, you know, you've got to pay it. So then we started paying it again.
Yeah.
So then we had to go. So during all that time, my father had a bad liver disease, and we were in a plane crash here at Daytona Airport, and he actually died in the plane crash, and I was severely injured. And this is also in 2009.
That was the
Simultaneously happened.
Oh
So
my goodness.
so it was really crazy.
Right. Right.
But I
Right. These are these ups and downs.
yeah, this whole thing, yeah. So this all accumulated at once, and but I had a miraculous recovery,
Yeah.
and then it gave me, I think, the courage to really to tell the banks, that what we did instead of paying the loans is we escrowed the money, to prove to them. I mean, so that we were stockpiling the money for
Right.
when it came time to modify the loan, we could then
Pay it.
make good on the debt.
Right. Right. But you showed that, like, that was
Yes, but it took a lot of it was something I had never done before, but it all worked out, and the banks did work with us, and we came through it. But it was a tough time. We had debt collectors coming. We had to
right.
we had to sell a bunch of properties, but the good news is, in the end, we kind of 10x to the company, which means like, well, if you go back 10 years before that, we had like 3 self-storage facilities. Now we have 30. So we went from 3 to 30, or 10 times the size and everything
After that,
over the years. Yeah. So it all worked out.
it all works out. It all works out, man. It all works out. Yeah. So right at the end of the time, it all works out.
But it takes persistence, and what our reputation and character is so important too, because when you're in business in a relatively small town, it's that's our best selling point, I think, is our reputation. So now we're known as a company that gives back to the
Right.
community. We're involved with Halifax Hospital, which, as I said, saved my life after the plane crash.
Right.
We have a arts and medicine program there, and we we give back to Habitat for Humanity, and we do like several things in our company to give back.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of our what makes us a little different as far as other, you know, self-storage companies.
Yeah.
And
I think that, again, that comes back down to influence and character, right? Like, so the influence growing up as you and your parents, and how you take that on to whether it's a business or your family. Because, you know, I feel like some business is an extended family, right? As far as the people, the employees, and then really the culture that you create.
That's right. Yeah, our culture at All Aboard is continuous improvement. You know, we're always trying to make our procedures a little bit better for our customers, make everything, our properties a little better. So we're always looking for ways to improve ourselves and our systems that we have in our company.
Yeah.
So that's a big culture, and also we take our job seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. You know, like
Okay.
we try to have
Love it.
fun,
Love it.
and you know, that camaraderie and teamwork lightens it up. But we're serious about
Yeah.
what we're doing.
I love that.
So it's a good way to, when you deal with a lot of people that rent self-storage are in transition, getting back to that.
Yeah.
You know, they're going through divorces or dealing with deaths and their family, and so they're stressed.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll get customers that are you know, upset and
Emotionally charged, which then leads to, you know.
but you don't want to take that personally.
Right,
You know?
right,
So like if
right.
you're a frontline,
Mm.
you know, person, it just, you know, you seriously deal with it, but
Yeah.
try not to let it get to you.
Sort of absorb it there.
Yeah.
That's really good. Well, congrats, obviously, on the success, and I think I really liked what you said. So we take it seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. I think that's a huge,
Right. For business wise.
for business,
And customer service, you know,
yeah,
we also empower our people to act like owners. You know, like when we have all these different locations, and the managers that are running them, I tell them, yeah, act like it's your own, and they take risks with regard to how to serve the customer.
Mm.
But then as long as we communicate what we're doing to all the other teammates,
Yeah,
then that's good customer service to, you know, solve the customer's issue, and be empowered to do what it takes to you know, to get good customer service, and taking care of your property. So there's actually a trend now to have unmanned self-storage facilities,
right.
and using technology and we have that at a lot of our places where you don't have to use a padlock. You can use your phone to unlock your storage unit, find your storage unit,
Yeah,
get in and out of the gate, all through with your phone and the app. And we're you know, we have some unmanned facilities, but we still like the empowered manager who can give good customer service. It's kind of like we want to be kind of like Ace Hardware is compared to, you know, Home Depot. In other words, when you go to Ace, you got the personalized service,
right.
but sometimes you go to Home Depot and you can't find any help.
Hello, hello.
So we want to be more like Ace.
That's
so-
not sponsored by Ace yet, but hopefully they'll call out.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
the more friendly place.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes our episode. Thanks again for listening. Make sure you stay tuned because we got Andy coming up next on part 2, where we talk a little bit more about his near-death experiences, the unfortunate loss of his father, and asking his ex-wife for divorce. It's a great episode. Stay tuned, and don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Peace.